Welcome back everyone, this is Steven Fox here, and this is my review of the Motorola Moto G4. Hi guys, so this will be a quick unboxing since my review unit only came with a generic charger, not the regular one. And so I'm not going to open the box for you, this is the phone inside. So this is the Motorola Moto G4 or XT1622 as it's known. It's a really good device. For most of you who you don't have not have heard, Lenovo bought Motorola back a few years ago. And since then Lenovo and Moto phones have been side by side coexisting, but you can clearly see after the Lenovo K5 Note that this is a totally different phone, and it looks very slick, very classy. Now first thing you notice is there's no fingerprints on it. The Moto G4 Plus that has that. This is the basic model Moto G4. You remove the back cover. This is mine is a single SIM version. There's also a dual SIM version available, but mine comes from the UK, so it's single SIM in there. There's a micro SD card slot, 3000 mAh battery, front facing speakers, 13 megapixel, I believe a Sony camera with dual LED flash, very nice textured back, feels really solid in the hands. The buttons also are a bit wobbly and loose, but the power button has a nice texture to it, so you can always recognize it, even if you try to use it in the dark or use it for the first time. On top there's the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now this phone is really thin, it's around 8mm thin, so it sits very well in the hand at 5.5 inches. This is a great device. Now let's boot it up for the first time. This comes with the Snapdragon 617 Qualcomm chip. It's an Octa-Core. You have two clusters of 4 cores, one at 1.5 and one at 1.2 GHz. Adreno 405 graphics, 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of storage. Now this is the only version that the Moto G4 comes in. The G4 Plus comes with 32 GB of onboard storage and some with 3 GB of RAM. But this is the cheaper model, and the display is the same, build quality is the same. The camera doesn't have laser autofocus, but that's not that much of an issue. Now, first thing about this phone is this display is gorgeous. Now this is an IPS LCD display, and you see in the review that I can't differentiate this from an AMOLED display, guys. The colors are really vibrant, the blacks are truly black, there's no light bleeding or anything. It's just a great display, truly a flagship worthy display, and aesthetics from Motorola here. I'm really pleased with it. Front facing speakers are great, and this is basically as close to stock Android as you can get from a Nexus device, since this is the fourth iteration of the G series, for which Lenovo has been known for quite a while now. It's the mid-range series. The E series is the lowest one. Now you hear the sound from the front-facing speakers. Later you see in the YouTube review how the sound pans out. It's really nice. It's a great device. So one thing here is the 16 GB of onboard storage. You get around 9.5 free, and I've installed 5-6 games and barely any photos, and I only have like a gigabyte left. So most of you will definitely need to pick up an SD card with that, because 16 gigs is not enough. But as you know, this is running Marshmallow 601 and running on Go Now launcher. So you can format the SD card as an internal storage, so you don't have to divide it, which is really nice. You have very standard settings. This is a very basic version of Android, very clean, bloatware free, except for a few Moto apps, which you're not obliged to sign in with. So be sure this will get Android 7 all nougat without any issues in even the next one. So you're getting a device with great software optimization and guaranteed future updates for at least a year and a half or two. Even the first Moto G got, I think, Android 6.0. Now this is a very good widget they have here in there's the clock on the center. There's the Google Calendar integrated on the right side, so you can have all your events, and on the left side is the temperature. I find that really useful. I've set it up and it was really nice for me. Doesn't look too protruding on the desktop. It's just really good. And here's the app drawer, which most of you I know love. And this, as I said, really basic. Just the bare necessities you want from a phone. A few good wallpapers, and that's it. I have to do a black dot here on the Moto, as this is 2016 and you can customize your own screen buttons from the settings menu, which for me is unacceptable, as lots of cheap phones have it, and I really prefer the back button to be on my right side and the multitasking on my left, but that's just me. I would like to have that. Now here's a few good tricks you can get with the Moto. They come with practically every Moto since the G3 onwards. Basically it uses the gyro sensor with a few shakes and twists to do open some apps. Now this is the first thing is that you can block the apps from the notification, so you can have only the most desirable things in your notification panel. I recommend taking off all the games because they bother you too much with notification updates and so on. So you can have only like messenger apps in there and mailing when you're at work. Now this is the actions I've told you about. There's a few precise quick chops to open the flash. As you can see, few light chops doesn't work, but once you put some strength to it, it works every time. Now I don't recommend showing that too much because you might hurl the phone at somebody and break it. This is now picking up the phone, putting it on the other way around to just silence the call. And when the phone's ringing, you pick it up from the table, it automatically transfers to vibration to not hurt your ear with the sound. And the last one is you have two quick wrist shakes to open the camera, which is really nice. But as you see now in a minute, you also have the double tap on the power button to wake the camera, which is a bit more useful, I think, and a bit more safe with that wrist function. Again, you might drop the phone. And next I'll show you one of my favorite features in the Moto, and this is when the phone is laying down, you just pick it up slightly and there's a clock function. It automatically tells you the time and date, as you can see. Really nice. I really like that. And now time for the benchmarks.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
There are 50 new cards, and each one features a villager we haven't seen yet in Animal Crossing New Leaf, as well as the interior design of that villager's mobile home.
Dive into the story and take you into the events that follow. But if you didn't play the original, fear not. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse can be enjoyed as a completely standalone experience.
Multi-tool charge depleted. Technology recharge. Life support power low. Life support critical.
An idiot! Unbidden. From earlier, this is totality. This is conformity. I am elated, terrified, and broken. I have come so very far. The revelation tears me.
Hi guys, I'm back and this is my camera review. Now they didn't say any specifications which sensor is Lenovo or Moto is using. I believe it's a Sony sensor. Now this is, if you've never used a Motorola photo app, now this is what it looks like. You point to have the focus, and then you use this oval slider to adjust the exposure, which is kind of like always on manual mode, so you can at least choose exposure. There's the settings. You can choose the storage if you have an SD card, safe location. This is 16:9. Now change to 4:3, 13 megapixels, and 10 megapixels at 6.9. There is also this video is 1080p from the front cam and from the main cam at 30 fps. No 4K recording. And you also have 120 fps slow-mo at 540p, which is unremarkable, but works okay. Focus is fast. On my R2D2 here. This camera, I'm really pleased with it. It's a good light performer as well as low light performer for the price. It's not the fastest shutter, but it does the job well. There's a bit more quality in the shots. This again can't focus really well on really close macro shots, but as long as it's like a hand away, like a palm feet away from you, it will do a fine shot. As you can see, again, I'm using the exposure settings, adjusting it if I think the photo's too dark and I want more light to come in. See, spot focusing works really well. No problem there. Let me just zoom in close so you can see it better. You can see very fast focus. Now the Moto G4 Plus has laser autofocus, so I believe autofocus is a little bit faster, but if you want to pay like $50-60 extra for that, be my guest. The 3GB RAM, 32 gigs on board storage version costs like $100 more, so I wouldn't recommend that. It's just there's no point in getting it. For me, this is the penultimate version to get for the Moto G4. As you can see, photos look really well. I've noticed comparison between this and the G4 Plus, and the difference is barely unnoticeable. Barely noticeable, I mean. You see the photos I've taken in quick successions, all look really well. You have also a lot of customizations once you've taken the photo. You can use it, share it, and you can see here's the editing modes: color, pop, vignette mode, which are really nice with the slider. This is old school Android photo app, and it works really well for those who would like to tamper with their photos, you know, for social media. Now the front cam doesn't have a beauty mode, which I'm personally fine with. There's plenty of beauty face mode apps there on the Play Store, so you can download one if you really need that. The front cam is 5 megapixel, 2.2 aperture, so it does take very good photos. It's a wide angle lens, as you can see, so you can capture like 4 or 5 of your friends easily without a selfie stick. You can just slide on the right here the Moto app to open the photos. As you can see, detail is really nice. You can see that IPS LCD panels, blacks are just this enamel. It's just incredible. Great display. I just love it. And here's a few shots I've taken inside the house in good lighting condition. This is my girlfriend's PC. You can see colors are very accurate. This is from HDR. This is without, and the other one is with HDR. HDR does a good job, but I haven't used it all that much. You can see text is quite readable. Photos are sharp. This is in lower lighting conditions, my Honor 7. And this is outside on my terrace. A few selfies. As you can see, I've told you, when in good lighting, selfies look really well. This is a 5 megapixel camera, but it captures a lot of detail. Here's the picture-in-picture mode. And next up, I'll leave you with the photo and video samples. Enjoy, and I'll come back for my final thoughts.
За синята иска ли си? Аз съм черен. Айде бе. Виж колко е точен. То ръце ми се вижда. Такива хора.
See, I'm testing the front camera of the Moto G4. This is outside, good weather conditions. You can see it's a wide angle front cam. Works really well. But for selfies, blogging, video is not very shaky, doesn't have optical image stabilization.
Looks like you've lost your plane. Again. Upgrade the new one and find out who's our enemy.
Weapon upgrade. Human rescue. Weapon upgrade. Health restored. Chain lost. Weapon upgrade. Human rescue. Weapon upgrade. Game over.
Sub-Zero. You have eyes, but will not see. I will see you die. buddy. Need some covering fire.
So here are my final thoughts. This is a flagship display quality phone. Great clean UI, elegant, slim, very good front cam, back cam, games run well, really good all-round jack of all trade devices. The cons, not very fluent at multitasking, you probably need an SD card, big storage is low, not very good at multitasking, just 2 gigs of RAM, can customize on-screen keys, and the power and volume buttons are a bit loose. All these issues aside, I recommend it for almost everyone. Stylish and elegant phone. Latest version of Android, great for gaming, but it won't survive many drops. It's a big phone, and if you like to multitask with heavy apps, it's not the most ideal choice. Hope you enjoyed the review, and if you want more,